What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Military Mortgage Advisors podcast. Today we have a special guest, Sally. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So, Sally, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Uh, how you got involved with the military community? Started as a realtor?
Yes. I'm kind of from everywhere. I was born in Florida, raised in New York, and then I came out here to Arizona. I enlisted in the Army. I did a little over 7 years. I was stationed at Fort Benning for a handful of years, and then I reenlisted and went to Shape, Belgium. And then from there, I got out. I came back home. I worked for the government for a little bit and decided I don't know if this is what I want to do. And so I branched off and started real estate. And I love it. I love looking at homes. I love meeting new people and just helping people find their home, whether it's their forever home, their starter home, their in-between home. I love it all.
Oh, awesome. I bet Belgium was really cool.
It was wonderful. I want to go back, um, but maybe in a couple years. We'll see what happens with the world.
So, what areas do you service now as a realtor?
So I service the Phoenix Metro, the whole valley. We've got the East Valley, we've got the West Valley, and then we kind of have north parts of Phoenix, whether it's North Phoenix, we've got Scottsdale, and then south of Phoenix, we've got the South Mountain. Fort Huachuca is super south. I have actually driven out to Sierra Vista to help an animal sanctuary look for land. So I certainly will do it. Um, Especially if somebody's coming in and they have one day to maybe look at places before they head back out, or they have a weekend to figure out where they're going to live. I certainly don't mind making that drive. I like Sierra Vista. I know the area. But yeah, mainly the Phoenix Metro Valley.
Nice. Okay. Is Fort Huachuca the only base around the area, or are there more?
No, so we've got Luke Air Force Base, which is in Glendale. We also have the Papago Military Base, which is in Phoenix. It's pretty small. They're both pretty small bases. Now, Luke Air Force Base is a pretty big Air Force base for the fighter pilots. That's where they have a lot of their trainings. Um, and that's kind of what I'll focus on today. So, Luke Air Force Base is located in Glendale. It's to the on the western border of Glendale. So there's cities and towns surrounding all over it. We've got Litchfield Park to the south, we've got Waddell to the west, El Mirage to the north, and Surprise kind of sprinkled in surrounding it. So there's a lot of different towns and cities that if anyone's getting stationed at Luke Air Force Base or interested in moving to the area, there's a lot over there and it's growing rapidly. It's not some ho-bunk base in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, awesome. Now, are there some neighborhoods that are a reasonable commute that you'd recommend? I know we have to kind of watch it from steering, but just within, a 20-minute drive or so from the base.
Yeah, so all of those towns and cities, the medium home price, it really ranges. It can be from 350 to $600,000. So there's kind of a home price for everybody out there. There's new builds also all going in around Luke Air Force Base, so that they have really competitive home prices, and then their interest rates are pretty much way lower than our market interest rates, and even VA. I don't know if I should say that, but some of the VA loans out there. So that's always an option if anyone's interested. Um, but there's Citrus Park, there's Wigwam Creek, which is pretty nice, right over there by the Wigwam Resort.
Okay.
I've got the golf courses over there. So if that's something that interests you. And then there's actually a new master plan community called Verado, and it's at the base of the White Tank Mountains. And that is like this tree-lined street. There's shops, there's restaurants. It's not small, but it's supposed to feel like a small town charm. There's at least 5 schools in the community, so it is pretty big. But there's definitely something for everybody out here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of market are you guys in? Are you seeing it buyer, seller?
I would say it's pretty equal. It's tipping a little bit more on the buyer side. I think it depends on each property. More properties, I would say the buyers have a little bit more upper hand. We can get concessions added to the deal. We can buy down the interest rate. There's a lot of sellers who are willing to put money down to buy down the interest rate. Now, if it's a great property and they price it below, they're kind of smart, then it's going to go up. You might have some bidding wars, but we're not seeing that nearly as much as we did, a couple of years ago with COVID and everything. So it's still kind of a middle market here, but it is a little bit more buyers right now, which is
Gotcha.
great.
Okay. So if you're working with a family that's PCSing to your area, what are some things they should know before getting to Arizona?
Try and avoid being PCS in the middle of the summer. I know that is not really up to anybody, but if you can, try and come in the spring, or I mean, really, if you can come in the winter, that's the best time. Also, there's a lot to do out here, especially closer to Luke Air Force Base. They've got the Wildlife World Zoo. Like I said, the Wigwam Golf. There's lots of golf courses all over out here. So if that's something you're interested in, they're all over. There's also a ton of schools everywhere. We've got private schools, we've got public schools, schools of all different types all around. Another thing to remember is we have some kind of crazy wildlife out here sometimes. So especially if you do move into, that Verado, that new master plan community, and you're at the base of the White Tank Mountains, and it's absolutely beautiful. Watch maybe your Pomeranian while you go outside and don't let them loose because we've got coyotes in the mountains. We've got some other interesting bobcats and creatures, which, that's part of Arizona. Um, and then another thing out here is a lot of our communities have HOAs, so just maybe an extra expense that you may not be thinking of. Now, obviously, that is something when we go to look at homes, we'll just discuss and say, okay, you're going to have another $76 monthly expense. Some of them are quarterly, some of them are annually. But just a heads up that a lot of the neighborhoods out here do have HOAs.
Awesome. Yeah, I could see it be a big move for someone if they're coming from a place like Fort Drum and they get there and then all of a sudden there's rattlesnakes and coyotes and all
Yes.
the fun things.
We've got camel spiders out here
Oh
too.
wow.
They're
Back in
not just,
Afghanistan.
in Iraq and everything. They're out here also. So yeah, but there's so much to do. Luke Air Force Base is in Glendale, and Glendale is the home for the Cardinal Stadium. The Coyote, the hockey team, they're still out there. Westgate is a huge entertainment district. It's close to downtown Phoenix, so you're close to the airport. Um, it's it's you're close to California. If you want to go to Mexico, we're not that far from the border. There's so much to do out here, and it really is growing. I think it's a great market to buy a home, and even if you don't plan on being here for all that long, you're gonna make it's going to be an investment. You're going to be making a profit even in 2 to 3 years. So, especially with how fast about the West Valley is growing, where Luke Air Force Base is, it's it's not a bad move. So,
Yeah, and I mean, with a military base there, you'll always have families in and out that if you do decide to rent it, that'll be a possibility as well.
exactly. And also surrounding Luke Air Force Base, just to add on, we've got Boeing to the south of it. So you're
Oh
always going to have
wow.
people coming and working there. We've got Amazon, we've got the Dick's Sporting Goods and REI distribution centers just right across the 303. We've got Costco's right over there. There's a huge industrial warehouse that just finished, I want to say the beginning of this year. So the jobs are booming out there. It's not going to stop anytime soon. So yeah, if you do buy, you want to rent it out or turn around and sell it in a couple of years, either or it's not a bad, it's a win-win.
So
So
it sounds like if you decide that you're going to get out in the Phoenix area, you've got plenty of options as far as
oh,
employment.
totally. We've got Northrop Grumman, we've got Intel, we have a huge plant that's being built just it'd be north of the base. But there's so much being built out here, whether it's an industrial warehouse or, a defense contractor or, any other job. We've got tons of hospitals, we've got tons of schools. It's definitely, you don't have to go far to find work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything you'd like to add before we go?
I think that covers it all. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. How can everyone get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I will include, well, my phone number, my email. I don't know if we want to include that on here anywhere. You can find me on social media. I'm Sally Halverson Sells. on Instagram and Facebook. My email is also sallyhalversonsells@gmail.com. Call, email, text, social media. Find me
Awesome.
in a lot of ways.
Perfect. You can also find Sally on our website, themilitarymortgageadvisors.com. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to Sally or hit us up at Military Mortgage Advisors. Awesome. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you.